to embody Lord of the Rings. And of course, it was awesome. And I've still been marinating on it this morning. And we left off last night with you got to change your characters. Now you'll know what that means after Alistair goes through the rest of it. But it's a very interesting. It's a very interesting use case, I think, for many people. If you think outside of conventional thinking and how you're going to make it your own. So, keep in mind from this point forward, everything that you're learning the basic foundation, you're learning the shapes of the bricks in your Lego toolkit, right? But what you build with them is up to you in order to become a master brick, or brick master, as they call them. The reason they're that way is because they understand the shapes of everything. And then they're allowed to kind of figure out what else you can build with it. So I'm encouraging all of you to do that. I see you, MS Code. Good morning. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. And I see Rasvan also. And Jeff, of course, I'm excited to see you. I hope that you are doing well. We have Alistair as a co-host, so I'm going to test his mic while we are here, and then we will test Cash Money Kev's, because I know that he's pushing buttons in the background. Alistair, how are you this morning? Can I hear your mic check, hon?
Good morning. I'm okay. Ready to start.
Well, okay is always good. That's always good. I hope that you are well rested. The three of you have been doing such a fantastic job. For folks that aren't following Tech in Schools or My AI Tutor or Pixio, the respective accounts, you really need to. The upgrades that they are making within these ecosystem of tools are incredible. Cash Money Kev had mentioned last night after class some of the things in the sound, the audio, those special effects and all that kind of stuff. The upgrades are just mind-blowing. And I hope that each and every one of you have an opportunity to play, because the barrier to entry, even though we have a proliferation of tools, those token costs and those subscription fees are going to nickel and dime you if you want to compete in a marketplace. They are just going to nickel and dime you. If you are unfamiliar with that term, it just means lots of little fractionalized pennies just going to add up, because you are going to have to use so many different tools. If you are really smart consolidating under one umbrella, you are going to have a mechanical advantage. You're going to be able to, have nicer profit margins, put it that way, in the very near future. So I hope that you're looking at it. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Tech in Schools or Pixio and My AI Tutor, make sure you use the ITT code. It'll get you 20% off, but more so and even bigger is that we got kids in New York that will be getting a digital twin copy. So when you subscribe, they get their free copy. If you unsubscribe, they get to keep their free copy, which is really important. That's one of the reasons why I think Tech in Schools shines. There's many, many reasons, but that is definitely one of them. And it's also one of the biggest reasons we have so many awesome companies wanting to help them succeed, whether it's DigitalOcean and helping us with our digital backpacks and giving us all of these wonderful tools, these cPanels and the things that normal everyday Joes cannot pay for, especially startups. So to be able to have access and to learn new skills on the best stuff is really, really a privilege. It's really, really, really cool, actually. So make sure you always think of them, when on your rise up, when you become a multi-bazillionaire, make sure you remember the folks that helped you along the way. Cash Money Kev has some announcements, especially about Innovators Think Tank. I'll let him do the intro while he tests his mic. How are you, Cash Money Kev? Did you have a good sleep?
I did, Sarah. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's day's starting off well. I'm excited for today. We're just going to be going over the third template that we did last night and getting our database set up and whatnot. It was super awesome. I'm super happy to have Alistair here. The stream is up in the nest and on innovatorsthinktank.com if you'd like to follow along, and the agenda's there as well. Also, while you're there, be sure to have your profile, get it set up. There's a little check mark box that you can fill in so you can connect with other innovators on the website. Be sure to send me, Josh, TSI, Alisher, Sarah, send us all connection requests, and make those connections on the website with people that you need to upgrade your businesses. You can find them there. It's great what's happening with all the changes and updates that are coming on the website. And we actually have a really big announcement coming this Saturday. So be sure to hit that reminder for ITT number 75. It's going to be awesome, guys. This next announcement, I'm super happy for. No spoilers though. Yeah, and be sure to just check out the innovators algorithm on there in the learn section. Josh put that together. It is the I4 included with some other stuff that'll really push your business forward. It's super cool what is going on there. But in other news too, I got to say, last night, Sarah, it was amazing to see Sharon getting it done live. And then I thought it was so funny how Ross just kind of made the database in like 5 minutes. And so everybody just be sure you're following the live stream because it might seem hard or difficult for you, maybe because it's just a new thing that you're discovering here. But if you're following along on the live stream, Alisher will be right there. And be sure to come up on stage and ask questions if you are falling behind, so we can keep you up to speed with us. It's important, guys, because this is the big jump. As we mentioned last week, it's a little bit harder, but not too hard. So don't overthink it. Just stay focused and yeah, let's have some fun though. That's the most important part. Have fun and learn and make the changes you want. That's your like specialty, the figure theme for this next app. And with that, Alisher, if you're all ready, brother, I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, we'll get started. I think this one's going to be a little bit easier actually because we've already done it 2 times in the previous weeks, and yeah, we'll do about the same thing. We'll try to edit the front page. We'll edit one of the personalities, and then I think, and then you guys should be ready for next week. And you should focus on editing all the personalities because you can bring them into your app that we're going to build next week.
And just to clarify that last little point there, Alisher, we don't have to make every single AI bot personality. We did delete some last night, but try to make 10 is if I remember the number being correct, around 10, right?
You can keep it around 10. Yeah, that's a good number. It's really, as many as you want.
You can take your pick. Fingers or toes, folks. Fingers or toes.
Okay, let's see. So make sure you guys are logged into your cPanel. We're gonna stay in File Manager for now, and then I think next week we're gonna take a look at creating a database once we get there. Now, in File Manager, all of our files are gonna be in public HTML. So everything that's displayed on the web. And for me, I have everything in the C5 folder. You might have it in some other folder. I know some people have it in the app folder. But you're looking for where you have these 3 folders that we created in week 1. So we're up to the 3rd one now. And last night, I think Ross shared this file in Slack. This is the file from yesterday called HTML5 files, I think. We'll see right now. It's called the HTML5 version. The other version we're going to launch next week. I don't think you guys have those files yet.
Make sure that folks are looking in the Slack channel for the files. I might have missed that. Just make sure you're not clicking on things that you don't outside of our ecosystem. Okay.
Yeah, guys, all these files are going to be shared in Slack. Otherwise, it's very hard to send a zip file somewhere to everybody where it's safe. And I'm going to forward it in this channel as well. So we have it again. Okay, so HTML5, you want to upload the zip. Remember, your file manager has this upload button. And once you upload, you need to go back to file manager and reload, not refresh, reload. And you should be able to see the zip there. And since this is a zip, we have to extract it. This is how you would typically move files to your cPanel, is you would zip everything up and then you bring it in. So if let's say you're working on these files in Visual Studio Code, you're going to have to zip that folder and bring all the files in. If you do it one by one, it's going to be very time consuming. Now, when you extract, you're going to get this HTML5 folder. In here, you have everything, right? You have your documentation. So there's a guide that you can read through. They give you a link. Let's actually go to it. Oh, this has a whole PDF, even better. Let's check this out. This has very detailed documentation, 17 pages of it. So you can see exactly what you need to edit. It says employees.json is the file that's going to contain all of the AI related stuff. We have our key file, just like the other projects. And the rest of it is pretty much the same. It just kind of talks about the different parts of the JSON that you can edit, like temperature, frequency, presence, model, etc. You can even generate images here. Okay, and it talks about a little bit the sizes of the different images that you need in order to fill in this website. So highly recommend checking out documentation. It'll be super useful for you, especially if you don't want to go back and like rewatch the 4 hours from yesterday, 3 hours. Reading through this should be more than enough for you to understand where everything is located. And the rest of it is just sort of knowing your cPanel. What's up, Star Boss? You have your hand up?
I do. Really quick, where am I finding this document file? Is it under File Manager?
Well, this is in the documentation folder from the files from last night. Could be in File Manager. You can go to that zip that you downloaded last night. You can open it there as well. Pretty much wherever you have these files, you'll find the documentation.
I just found it. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, this is how a platform will typically come with some sort of docs. I think if you check out the other platforms that we launched, number 1 and 2, you'll find documentation there as well. So if we go over here, you'll find like the README. Very popular way of having documentation. So having a README file. It'll tell you
Hey,
some
Alisher, just so
information.
you know, Rutro has her hand up, hon.
What's up, Rutro?
So when we unzipped all this, can we move it up a level? Does that help with definitely helps with the URL, but it
Yeah.
just seems like there's so many files. So what's the best way and where should we put it? Yeah. Move
The
it to.
best way is check this out. So I have it unzipped. I have this folder, HTML files. This is all the files for the platform, right? So what I would do is I would take these, as you can see, very similar folders that we had before. I can select all. I can click move, and then I'll move it to folder 3. So instead of having this HTML5 version, HTML files, I'll just have season 5/3, and it'll be my third app. So I'd say move it up to the number. And then it should be a little bit easier to access, right? I should be able to just go to my link, go to season 5, then 3. It does help with the URL, but also to help with the URL, you can make a domain, right? So you guys can create domains. You can give each one like a different name. So this can be agency.alisher.test.tsi program.org. The previous one could have been like wizard.alisher.tsi alistair.tsi.program.org.
That makes sense. Thank you.
For you guys, I would say until you add your own domain, right? So your own custom domain, something like road.com, it's always going to be a little bit long because you always have this tsi.program.org here. But if you have your own domain, you can shorten it even more, right? So depending on how short your domain is, it could be something like agency.alistair.com, for example. So that's much shorter. And yeah, guys, once you extract everything and you move the files up a little bit, you can go to the website. You can see already some of the things you can start filling in, like these header pictures, like the hero over here, the person that's right here for the shadow, and then of course all of these personalities. Looks like they go in rows of 4, so I'll say either do 12 or 8. So it looks a little bit more filled in. Otherwise, there's, I don't know how many there are, probably like 40, maybe even 100 in here. I don't know about that, but there's a lot. So you can definitely delete a lot of these and just keep it to like 2 or 3 rows. If you guys take a look at this, it's actually very familiar, right? This kind of looks like the AI team, very similar. If you guys know, the AI team fools everybody if you have a good prompt. People will think this is an actual person responding to you. Okay, so now let's check this out. We see this documentation, so I'm gonna follow the documentation. That's always, I'll say that's always like the way to go. And a lot of times, this documentation, it's actually going to talk about a cPanel. So the environment that it mentions could potentially be cPanel a lot of times. Okay, so let's start with a key, right? Well, what's good about documentation, it'll always have some sort of links. So for whatever API keys you need to make this work, they'll always link it. So for example, right here, we have OpenAI, and it gives me the link to the OpenAI platform side, pretty much where I can get my keys. So it's very, very straightforward. This is what happens when you pay for like a professionally designed piece of code that sells, that has some sales. The script probably sold like a few thousand times. So the developer of this makes it very streamlined. Okay, now if you're an OpenAI, this requires an OpenAI key. I guess if you go back to project 1, you can remake it to use OpenRouter. Very similar way of remaking it, right? Now here, I already have a key from last week. I'll make a new key. Why not? Let's call this recap week 3. For you guys, you can reuse your previous key. What I would say is just be careful, of course, when you share this, because if people start actually chatting with it, you're gonna lose your balance very quickly. That money is gonna be spent. I think if you want to know how much money you have, you can go to billing. It'll tell you how much balance you have left. And I would say for now, have auto recharge off, unless you're already using this with your clients. But this is useful. This will essentially says when it reaches 0, it'll recharge. You could do it when it like reaches $1, recharge to $5. But just be careful with this, because if the usage is high, so will be, I guess, your charges. So you just want to be mindful of that. Okay, I have my key. Now, we can go through this, generate key, great. Now it says go to key.php file in the PHP folder, and you can paste the key in. So let's go to PHP. Here we have our key.php as always. And you guys are going to notice how different it's going to be in the next week when we launch the full PHP platform, full SaaS. Now here's very important that you put the key between the quotes. Don't change anything else. You need the rest of these words here, and then save changes. This is how we edit in cPanel. You don't really need Visual Studio Code. All right, now let's go. Let's see what's next. So setting up the environment. We already did this whole part. We did the part where we uploaded this to a server. We already know that it's working when we go to it. Now we can try to test it.
I have a quick
So,
question.
what's up?
The open router, did you say that was on week 1 in the recap? The whole how to set that up?
Yeah, so there's a project from week 1. You can just go and see how that project is done and then
Okay.
change a few things. It's only like maybe 3 lines of code that need to be changed,
Okay.
and then you're all set with Open Router.
Okay. And then the mini is probably the best way to go.
The what? Sorry.
The mini.
The mini, yes, the mini. The mini is the best way to go because it's the cheapest. Yeah, definitely. It is the best way. It's actually also the better of the models, surprisingly. See. Let's see if this works. Tell me about UI. Yeah, works flawlessly. Oh, I elbowed the wire. Okay, so this works. Now, actually, I could probably show you how to do Open Router right now, since we're gonna be changing these anyway. So let's see. When it comes to Open Router is cool because it gives you access to all these other models and it has some free models too. So let's check out the Open Router docs and let's see what models they have. So I'm gonna go straight for free. I know you could even use one of these big models like 405B, or you could do for something like the small one, the 1 billion parameter model. Okay, let's see. Typically, the way these APIs work is they all have the same structure. It's all about just like changing the link. So, for example, here, this uses, as you can see, the same structure for completions. So all we have to do is just change where this is being used in code. So I think in this project, it might be, let's see, it might be inside of API.php, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So API.php is responsible for making all these calls. So in here, you can find the OpenAI link and replace the OpenAI link, both of them, with the Open Router link.
I think that might not work just dial it right away.
Yeah,
That
probably.
that's something they're changing. Because I don't think they even have that.
Paste, that's all good. And now we just have to change the model, and then it should work. So let's see where the model is. There's nothing there. It is most likely in the JSON. So in the JSON, we have our config, that's number 1. So here we have one model. This is where you change them all. I'm just going to change it to the quick, small llama model. I'll say ideally for something like this, you can use the larger one. It's pretty much just changing the length. That's one place. And then the next place is the employee's JSON file. So this is where you have your prompt. And also here is the model as well. So this is Ryan Johnson. Let's actually see who's the first. So he is first. So we'll just change him and we'll talk to him from now on. And here where it says API model, instead of for mini, you can use for mini as well. You just have to make sure it's written in the right format that Open Router accepts. And now that we have these changed, now I would say if you were going to try it in incognito. So the cache resets. And let's talk to Ryan Johnson. Let's yeah. And let's see. Help me with my SEL. He's an SEL guy, right? Invalid credentials, right? I don't have a key. So whenever you get invalid credentials, unauthorized, typically API key related, which makes sense. I haven't changed my API key yet. So now I need an open router API. They use Clerk. Nice.
Do they?
Yeah. Keys. Here's looks like I already have one from last week. Just create a new one. Week 3 recap. Yeah, you guys want to save these keys somewhere because you can remake them. You have to delete them. And remember, you can edit your key instead of PHP. It's the key.php file. And you'll see this key is slightly different, but typically they all look the same. Let's try now. I wonder if it works immediately. Or if I need another cache though.
No, I think it's easier. It's PHP. Server side.
Hey, Alisher, you got Dan's hand up, friend.
Yeah, well, what's up, Dan?
Yeah, just a quick question. So trying to understand like where those API keys kind of the way that they work within it. So specific question, could we have Ryan Johnson on like the Llama and then have like, create a premium quote unquote chatbot and then use the GPT mini so that, there's this kind of free funnel? Like, is that possible? Or is there something that overarching?
You could because
Okay.
Open Router has OpenAI models as well.
Sweet. No, that's awesome. I mean, to be able to have different tiers in such an easy way.
Yeah, the only thing you have to be mindful of, you can't really do anything premium, non-premium here. This has no like login system, right?
Not yet.
This has no SaaSifying features, so to say. Right? There's no way
I'm
for you
keeping
to
that.
Satisfying feature.
there's no way for you to restrict free user versus paid user. This is just it's a front end. It's an HTML front end with some PHP calling for the API, and that's about it. What you guys are gonna see next week is gonna be like a whole platform. But this is like a good start. This is pretty much exactly what you did in week 1 and week 2. Just the use case is different, so to say. Right, week 1, your use case was, it's kind of aimed towards children. It was like AI animals. Number 2, you had like the Oracle. You could have changed it to whatever you wanted to. I think what we changed it to in the recap was actually one of these experts. And now you get this use case where it's like an AI agency, right? Something that can actually help you with a product or give you like a solid, useful response that
Right.
that hopefully you need right now. What's up, Dan?
Sorry, just follow-up question. I'm just trying to think I always try to think in different ways. I don't know why, but we could use different models possibly for like different personalities, right? Instead of like creating different personas within the same model, we can use the optimization for different ones. That would be possible.
Yeah. You could use different models for different, I guess, different characters there, different employees. You can use different OpenAI models. If you switch to Open Router, you can use different Open Router models. For example, I'm looking at some of these. Here's Pixtral Large. It says the model is able to understand documents, charts, and natural images. For example, maybe you have an expert that requires, uploading images. Here's Mistral Large, the latest model, says excels at reasoning code, JSON, chat, and more. So this says code in JSON. So maybe you have a coding expert. You could use the Mixtral model because it's better at that. Here's Nemo. Mistral Nemo says expert on immersive narrative and storytelling. So maybe you have like a copywriter, right? Somebody who's supposed to tell the journey of the brand, so to say. You can use this Mistral Nemo model instead. So you can really make each one like use a completely different model that is, I guess, an expert in that field. So if you read at some of these, here's Quen, role playing and storytelling specialist. Maybe you have some sort of like, yeah, a storyteller. But you just got to read through some of these, see what you want, see what personalities you want to create, and then find the models that fits that best. Because a lot of these, they're just general models, right? Like Sonnet. Sonnet is like a general model. Grok is going to be your general model. OpenAI, very general. There's nothing that it excels more at than the next model. Versus some of these other ones, like let's say Inflection 3 Pi. I don't know what that model is, but you can read. It kind of tells you what it's better at, what makes it unique.
Oh, you shouldn't have brothers. That's really.
Yeah, there's a bunch of storytelling models here, not just that one.
Awesome, thank you. I didn't mean for such a detour, but that's really lighting up my imagination. So thank you.
Yeah, and also keep in mind some of these are free, so you can, I guess, whenever you're building out your SaaS next week, you can make it where free users use the free model, paid users use the paid model. There is like a slight difference in speed and quality between free and paid, so you can do something like that as well. Oh, what's up, Ro? I see your hand up.
Yeah, it's just sort of to add on. So after our class last night, I just came across something that looks very similar to ours, and it's like AI mentors. And they had like Dan Coe for, you know, a creator of businesses, Tony Robbins, I don't know, Russell Brand, any of those kind of things. But I found it interesting. And it was back like in May of 2023. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there, give maybe people some ideas.
Rutro, we mentioned that last night too. Literary characters, for instance, same, or statistician type people. I know that's not the really right word, but you can create your Avengers team. That's what you should be thinking about. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Alisher.
Friends, anyone here?
Well, what I was gonna say is it's cool for practice. If you try with like different, I guess, notable personalities, but I would say if you were to go to production and release something, try to have like a unique personality. That's not like an actual existing person, just for going to production and making money's sake, right? Because you don't want to. Yeah, yeah, I feel like
Copyright.
yeah.
Copyright. Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, for practice, for playing around, I think you of course can. Just like we did an example with Harry Potter. Um, you can turn this whole thing into Harry Potter.
Honestly, really good. Hogwarts Academy. No, I mean, so fun.
It'd be cool. You can have the different
Teachers.
Harry Potter teachers. Yeah, you're right.
So fun. Okay.
I mean, maybe if you work in a school, you could have different personalities of the teachers in your school. If the students wanted to chat with them, wanted to bring this into a classroom, because all these models, they're very heavily moderated anyway, so you can't really get a
Yeah, I mean, I remember
an NSFW response from
when
them.
we taught this. I remember some of the girls in the class didn't like connect with the idea. People didn't marvel, and then all of a sudden, I turned around and it was like they figured out they could do princesses, and then it became a whole thing. So the theme does matter, I think, with this project. Good theme is good.
Right now, let's check out what else we can change. So there's some images that we can change. We of course, the way that these JSONs are structured exactly the same as what you guys saw in week 1 and 2. You have name, image, description, the welcome message. I guess their title. And then you have the training, which is the system prompt for each one. So you can start going through these, changing these, and you see that the images for each one are located inside of employees. So if I go inside of my folders and I go to employees, I'm going to find each JPEG here that corresponds to each one of the employees.
This you can't launch with though. This is one of those things you need new pictures.
Yeah. And now I think here's also some of the placeholder stuff. So let's check this out. The easiest way for you to find anything is inspecting. So if I wanted to find where this is, I can just inspect. And this is called header-image.png. So what you want to do is you want to create something that's exactly like this, right? This is your template. You can have a graphic like this. You can make your own graphic, but it has to be this size, 570 by 580. But otherwise, you can make it look like however you want. And now here we have a background image, and this background image is, let's see what they call it.
Hero.
Yeah, it's called hero.jpg. And this is a pretty long image, so this has to be 260 by 625. And this is this purple background, so you guys are aware of where things are. So those are the two placeholder images that are here that you need to change. Let's see if there's anything else. Doesn't look like it. Looks like everything else is filled in already. So let's do that. Let's try those. I'm thinking Harry Potter. Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's grab a few pictures.
You can do like teachers.
You didn't even need a triple dog dare for that. I was just like, yeah, there it is.
Voldemort, please.
Well, we did it before. Oh, the Death Eaters.
So funny.
Is this gonna be the Death Eaters agency? Let's do it.
It's funny.
Where's my book?
I'm dying. I'm dying. I love your voice.
Better go.
Let's do it.
I have a quick
More.
question.
What's up?
Yeah, Roro.
Yeah, the pictures for the employees under there, their numbers. I hate that, but at the same time, I'm sure those numbers probably correspond to their like employee ID in the database.
No, it's all just random.
They don't.
There's no
Okay, it is.
database
Okay,
here.
I'm gonna change it. Okay.
And like, there's no, employees is just like an arbitrary title, because this is like the AI agency theme. But
Yeah, I'd rather call them by their name, like Harry Potter, whatever, or teacher number one, or not 69235.
well, yeah, I mean, you could call it
Super.
wherever. I think this was just like randomly generated.
I just didn't want to change it and then come to find out that it's some kind of link in the database with the
No.
number or something. I don't know.
There's no database. What size do these need to be? Let's see. Actually, while we're
Oh, they
here,
do have a size. That's right.
there's no database yet, and even then, these are, I guess. Oh, I shouldn't have opened it that way. These aren't, I guess, real employees anyway. These are all AI.
I guess I was just sort of thinking as a reference number, like maybe pull up, a whole page for them separately or
Mhm.
something. Anyway, just
Raw. Let's try raw.
And we'll let you know when there's like a dynamic link that you could break. So we'll give you a little notice when there's like database stuff and things matter.
Edgy. Okay.
Very edgy.
Portrait photograph.
Yeah, it's not going photo.
And I recommend you guys try FlexCraft Ultra and try to use raw, because when you add things like photograph in a prompt, it's gonna lean more into it and be a little bit more realistic, I guess. Oh, that's kind of like photograph.
The hard one.
Photograph, realistic, GS. Let's do dark red background. Also, not really Voldemort. You know,
No, it's close.
he has a nose.
It's just missing.
It's more Nosferatu than anything.
Yeah, it's just to get rid of the nose. So maybe Harry Potter might help, or Hogwarts.
Brings the sword of darkness part.
But that's what he is. Voldemort is the hardest thing to actually get.
I guess.
You can try a different, like, crazy one.
Pale, bald, no nose. Yeah, it's just I think there's like prom guidance or something. We'll take this into somewhere else.
Three.
Big scrap, yeah.
Good one. That'll do it.
You know what? That's actually not that bad. It looks more elvish than anything, but I'll take it. Yeah, so these look like they need to be square.
What is it? Square?
Yeah. Do from waist. We'll do one of them, and I'll let you guys do the rest.
And if you guys do finish, make sure to send me your final link in a DM on Slack to get the next part, which we'll need for next week.
And yeah, guys, in the meantime, let's check this out. You can delete a lot of these. Just be mindful of the structure. So I'm just going to keep the one. I'm going to get rid of all the rest of them.
So,
They're all about the same. None of them have like
just
a
need that.
unique. I know. None of them have like a unique feature besides the prompting. All the rest of them kind of have the same things, like with the Google Voice, the model, frequency, temperature. They're all about the same.
do you think in the open router one?
And then don't forget about the extra comma whenever you're deleting at the end.
If you kept API for OpenAI and Open Router, you could also do dollar potentially.
You can rewrite the code to do it. Sure.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's white.
Ooh, I like this.
Who did that?
FluxRef. But that works. Okay. So now we need our header, right? The long header.
Wait, I didn't even do that.
So let's do Hogwarts in blood red,
Actually, like this.
dark, nighttime. And since this is long, we'll need something like a 9x21.
I would say like dark academia if you want, like legit.
You think you're gonna get castle or inside?
Oh, I should have put exterior. You're
Yeah.
right.
I'm wondering what it's gonna do. Is it
Just
gonna
some
do it?
person.
I love it. I think it's great.
Oh,
So
oops,
that's
21x9. Other way around, but I like that.
very
That is kind of what I want.
scary.
But what I would say is real, hyper realistic.
Maybe throw a photo in there.
Hyper realistic photograph. What else do you think? Photograph.
You want outside, right?
Exterior. Dark, gloomy, raw. Yeah, I've been on Flexcraft Ultra mostly. Any other browser. Oh, that might be too
A
dark.
little too dark. Maybe dusk.
That's good.
Dusk might make it a little brighter.
And then we'll move on.
It's crazy though.
Oh, I
Oh,
like that.
that's definitely better.
I like that. We'll take that.
That the anime one's cool too.
Yeah. Now what I would say is you can remove background here. So let's go to remove background. So for one of them, we need it.
Oh, for both one?
Yeah.
For Goldie?
Not even both of them. It was actually not that one. I need to remove background for this. Forgot the hands. That's good. Nice. You guys can, I guess, take this into Canva as well if you want to.
Photoshop, Canva, like literally anything.
Yeah. For me, I'll just do this. I don't want to go into Canva, start removing things, re-downloading. But I highly suggest having things the exact right size. So, for example, I guess I might as well.
Were you gonna resize?
Yeah.
What is it now?
Too
big?
So what do I want, guys? Let's see. 570 by 580. So that's the first one. 570 by 580. That's our header image. And then the hero, something else.
So really interesting why this is important. Cash Money Kev showed us his website the other day or yesterday, and it was repeating a background. This is how you avoid it. The code expects a number. You give the code the right number, no repeating background.
Yeah, and then we could also, that's new.
That's it.
And then what we could also do is we can actually, I just want to, arms crossed, waist up kind of thing. So we can actually resize it to that as well here. I want it like this.
That's what you- It's like hovering above the website. In front of the castle.
See a little designing hexagon. Right, it's kind of like a hexagon there. Like that. Set back. On this one, the unfortunate part is it's not really centered. It's actually way off. Let's get them nice and centered in here. That's about it.
The aliens are cool.
Then make this red. Even darker. Yeah. What else? They had some sort of things floating there too. They had a few. They had a few things there. We can be just as fancy, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
gonna be something like this. Oh, that's okay. Send back. That's pretty good. I'll take it. So this is our header image. Let's grab that. Now I'm gonna name it the same thing, header image.png, and by doing that, we can just replace it instead of having to go into code, finding the name, renaming. And now this hero is 2600 by 625. So for me, I think I'm just gonna resize the same design and change the numbers. And what I recommend you guys do is do all the graphics in one go, then put them all in, do all the prompts in one go, put them all in, and then go and test it out, see how it looks. So, resize. Oh, that's pretty long. So where's our Hogwarts at?
Should fit.
Wow. Not even.
There you go.
I think this needs like a layer of something. And maybe a little shape on top. Yeah. Not bad. We'll keep the red theme. Now it's hero.jpg. So we'll make sure this is a JPEG.
It's not.
And we'll make sure to call it hero as well. Keep it consistent. Hero.jpg. Perfect. So now we can put them in, and they're supposed to be located inside of the img folder. So let's go to File Manager. Let's go to img. And now all we have to do, if you have them named the exact same thing, you just need to. Oh, they even give you the templates, by the way, if you guys wanted to change the Photoshop file. They give you the Photoshop file as well. Okay, yeah. If I want to change it, I can just upload them in here. And it's going to give me like a little warning to replace it, as you can see. Yes, override. Same thing with the header image, override. And now let's upload the Voldemort image as well. That's going to be in employees. So if I go back and I go to employees, here's all the employees. I can delete them all. I don't need them. And I'm just gonna upload the one image of Voldemort that I wanted to use. And I'll rename it. Right, so if you want to give them names, this is where you can give them names. Let's do rename. And okay, so our images are replaced. Now all we really need to do is actually edit the employee, right? And here we have the basic setup as well. So let's do, I think the first thing we'll do, we'll change Ryan Johnson to Voldemort. We'll start with him. And then expert, let's do, he's gonna be the Lord of Darkness here. And what we're also gonna do is we're gonna change these welcome messages, descriptions. And I'll just use AI for that. We'll take the easy way out.
What models?
Whichever one pops in first.
No, I mean which one of those bold ones?
Oh, whichever one is free. Let's see. Plus. Plus will be more than enough. Okay. Let's see. I have this structured data. I want to change the training welcome message and description to reflect. And then I'll just give it the prompt. Cool. Should just be able to take these line by line. Let's go description. Where were we? I was just saying, be mindful of the commas, guys. Sometimes that's the most common error is having an extra comma or a missing comma.
Invisible spaces, letters, and capitals.
Yeah, that's and the quotes. So
And the brackets.
when you're in JSON, you have a lot of quotes in JSON. You have a lot of brackets, a lot of and a lot of commas. And sometimes it wants commas, sometimes it doesn't. So that's a whole other issue. Let's see, what's the last thing? Training. Okay, and now we need to go back to our app and see where we have it. Right here. I highly recommend open incognito if you changed images. It actually looks like, oh, because we already have an open incognito somewhere. Gotta make sure we close it. You want to kind of reset your cache, and then you'll start seeing your images. Oh, look at that, immediately fills in. Now, what's missing is actually this image of Voldemort, which we have there, and we just didn't link properly. So it's right here under image in employees. All I have to do is change this number to the name of the picture that I uploaded, the name of the headshot. And it should fill in. There you go. And there you go. We can talk to him. Let's see.
Sneers are the chosen one, the boy who lived, Parcel tongue.
Oh, and there's audio too, I think. Let's see.
There is weird audio, but
It is weird. It's very robotic. It's like the Google Translate audio. Yeah.
You could change that.
It's funny.
You could.
Not what I expect.
But it just costs money.
You can change to OpenAI, or you can implement, whatever, like 11 Labs. Yeah. Okay, so we edited all the images. Now we can try to edit some of this. Well, this is a logo you can edit as well. Try to edit some of these, maybe CSS and colors. And let's actually edit the logo as well. So logo. Let's see. What's the Death Eaters logo? Ah, yeah, it's one of these. Green, maybe. Yeah, right. We'll grab this green one. Now, what size does this have to be? Oh, that's just GPT template part. Cool. Oh, no, so hold on. So logo that SVG does not say what size. Let's inspect. 214 by 70. So let's resize our design. We'll go 214 by 70. Having it the exact same size just ensures that you have a consistent design. Okay. Now I think they downloaded. Yeah, perfect. Go background. Thing. Let's see, any evil fonts? No. Oh, I like this. I like this font. Maybe even have something like this. Hmm, yeah. Good enough. Now this one's an SVG for the logo. So we'll make sure it's transparent and we'll make sure it's an SVG as well. And now, what does it call it? It calls it logo.svg. So we'll call it logo.svg as well. And this is inside of the image folder too. So should be the same process as replacing the headers. Image. Then when we upload it, it'll let us overwrite it. So pretty easy. And there you go. Now we just have to change some of these colors, right? This blue is a little bit off brand. Maybe this purple and some of this other blue. Maybe we'll go for blue and green. I mean, maybe we'll go for red and green. So we'll change all the blue to red, and we'll change all the purple to green. Now our style. Let's see these files. So our style is going to be in the style folder. Oh, we have dark mode, so it's going to be a little bit extra to it. Oh, dark mode is not too bad. Let's see what else is there. I'm guessing it's going to be this app.css. So let's go to edit this app.css. And I'm just going to take the whole thing. I'm going to go to AI Tutor. I'm going to talk to developer. And I'm going to use developer for this. So I'm going to say, here is my style CSS. forget the buttons sometimes. So here's my style CSS. And I'm going to say I want to replace all the blue colors with dark, rich red colors, and all the purple colors with dark green colors. And let's see how it does. And then I'm going to say, give me the full CSS code back. The full edited CSS code back. And then we'll do the same thing for dark mode. We'll see how this ends up being. Some things you'll notice here as well is fonts. So I'm seeing Montserrat fonts, sans serif. So these are some things you can change as well. And another thing is just be mindful of all the cPanel tabs you might have open. You might need to start closing them in order to free up some space. Because every time you upload something in cPanel, it opens a new tab. Oh, it's still going. There's a lot of code, a lot of styling. This is very typical because it's an HTML platform. All the styles are kind of like in a separate file. It's called style sheet, and you kind of end up having a lot of things here. The rest of the CSS continues with the same changes to bottom. Yeah, continue. How many lines of code is this? Oh, 1,000? That's not too bad. We can grab the first half in the meantime. Yeah, it's another thing about using plus. Plus is it's very good at like being on the limit of the context. So this is going to give you as much as it can. Okay, looks like that's all. We'll see if it adds up back to 1,000. Or somewhere around there. It does. Somewhere in that vicinity. Maybe got rid of some comments and spaces. Now what we'll do is we'll also say, do the same thing for dark mode. Same thing for dark mode. Here is dark mode CSS. And hopefully it gives you the whole code as well. I think dark mode might be much smaller file, yeah. Let's see if it immediately takes effect. No, it does not. So we need to open the new incognito once again. Okay, look at that. It actually took a lot of our changes, mixed up like this. But for the most part, the accents and a lot of the buttons are there in the correct color. So even when changing CSS, you don't have to go line by line. You can just have the AI replace it for you if you kind of know what you want. You can even specify the hex colors that you want it to be replaced with. Let's see what's up with this dark mode. Looks like dark mode finished. I think right now if we use dark mode, it's still going to have the blue. No, it's actually pretty good. It's not too bad. But let's see what it changes to. It doesn't look like there's much of a change. All right. I think that's it. That's pretty much all there is to edit. Now, if you wanted another character in there, you can start going to, I think it's employees.json, and you can start adding more and more. Right. I just did the one. Ideally, you want to have like 8 to 12, I would say. But to repeat this, all I have to do is just copy the code for Voldemort, comma, enter, paste the new one. And now I'm going to have two of them. But once I start editing, changing that to somebody else, it's going to be a whole different personality. All right. Do you guys have any questions? Because I think this is a good place to end.
Oh, Dan just raised his hand. I was just going to say, I don't see any. And then I saw Dan pop his hand up. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but I had to, like, in the middle of this, handle a work fire. So I created a tool instead of trying to get caught up. I'm actually going to send it to you, Alisher, and then Ross and Nick to look at, but I'll send the output in the HTML5 channel. And I built a task manager because when I get behind, I get overwhelmed. And so I just built something that we can take either a transcript from the space, or if we ask AI Tutor, like, give me a step-by-step, it's broken into a task list with checkboxes, and you can export it to a PDF. So it helps me, so I'm hoping it helps others.
I love that, Dan. I have a quick question, Alisher, and a comment too. But first the comment is if you mentioned putting in the hex colors or the color hexes for into the AI tutor. Guys, if you go to like color dash hex.com, that's where I got like the multiple hexes for like Gandalf, and like you can like look up themes there. So like if you looked up like Harry Potter, it'd give you like 5 different quick hex colors that fit the color palette, and you could just quickly put those into the AI tutor. But besides that, my question, Alisher, is I remembered briefly from last night there was some hidden files, and I remember inspecting and like finding those in the inspecting. But I remember Ross talking about that there was a way in the C panel to show hidden files. Would you guys recommend we just keep those hidden for most people?
No, you don't have to keep them hidden. You can go to settings in the file manager. It's on the top right. And there's a checkbox. It's the dot files. You can just click show hidden files using that. Now this is not going to have any hidden files. So the next platform next week is going to have hidden files like the environment variables. This should be just fine. But if you it's like a toggle pretty much. You can keep it on. There's no disadvantage of having it off, right? I mean, there's no disadvantage of having it on. It's not like they become visible to everybody. They just become visible to you in the file manager. So if you click on settings in the file manager in the top right, there's a little checkbox on the bottom.
Okay, sweet, awesome. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any hidden files that we could mess up, or if we should be editing them, because I did notice on like the second project that there were, and that's how I was moving some stuff around. But thanks again, Alisher. I do want to make sure. Does anybody else have any last questions for Alisher before we go, guys? In the closing notes here, and feel free to fire away. No, there's no such thing as a dumb question, guys. Like, and this is also a judge-free zone. We want you to learn and stay caught up. So feel free to ask questions or DM.
I
Oh,
have a quick one.
what was that, Ro?
I have a quick one. I have a quick one. So I guess I'm going back to sort of the training. I know we're sort of using the system prompt, but I think you mentioned something with the database. So I guess anything is possible, but could you maybe sort of go through how we can train these and beef these up? Like if we had personalities,
There's
grab
no real
YouTube, grab
training.
books.
I think first of all, training is just in this case an arbitrary term for a system prompt. So there's no training, there's no database or anything like that. There's no training in the next one either, right? Training is just like an arbitrary term for the prompt / personality. If you want to beef it up,
That's what
if
I
you want to
thought.
beef it up, I would say talk to the AI, figure out exactly what you want, figure out the format you want it in, and then in your prompt you should say, ask the user for this, and then give the user this. So it has input and output. So if you want to like really beef it up and have like a one shot where with the first question the user gets what they want, then have like a set output and input that the AI asks for.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so for me, I just did like this arbitrary Voldemort personality, but realistically, if this is an expert, you would have things like the exact output, the exact questions that the expert will ask, and then you would have the exact um, input that they want and whatnot, right? You just want to be like specific with each expert. If let's say it's a design expert, right? Actually, I don't think you can upload files here. Yeah, but if let's say it's some sort of like a coding expert, you will want the coding expert to say, "Please provide me the piece of code you're having an issue with," for example, and then that way you will get answers that are kind of like, even though they might not be correct, but they will be what the user is looking for in terms of output and structure. And in Plus, actually, in Plus, try to use the personality builder. See if it creates a cool persona for you. So you can go to Plus, you can go to Personas, and you can make a persona. Right, because these are like interchangeable. I would just say be careful when you paste it into the file for the project. It needs to be like a certain format, right? It needs to be all one block of text. But inside of that block of text, you can put whatever you want. So I would say, when you're making these, the only real requirement is that it's a one block of text. You don't accidentally paste in extra lines in there, just for the structure of the JSON.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, guys. Does anybody else have any questions before we end?
I'm not seeing any, Alisher. I'm not at all. I think folks really got work done today, and nose to the grindstone. So I'm excited. I'm excited to think of the possibilities of what you've equipped us with. And I just wanted to say how proud I am of you guys, all just in general. The tag team effort, Ross on Wednesday nights, and then you on Thursday mornings. It's just very cool. I will tell you that. It's very cool. So I just want to thank Nick, Alisher, and Ross for always just bringing the A game and, doing some things that, you know, they're using their superpowers for good. I'll just put it that way. I also want to say thanks to Luke. I see him here. He's relentless in the back nine, I suppose, as we say it out here in the country, making sure that things go well. And of course, Mattia and Josh, they're probably lurking sometimes when they have to do their regular stuff. But Cash Money Kev, always an honor to be your wingman. And I just wanted to say thanks to everybody who's showing up for themselves, because I'll tell you what, you're learning skills that are absolutely imperative for the AI age. And, these little projects that you're doing are little nuggets, little golden nuggets. They're little bricks that you are building upon, and you're creating for yourself that generational wealth that Web3 always talks about. Each and every one of you can literally write your ticket. And I hope that you understand that, changing your stars, the democratization of tools via AI, the ability to change your stars is in your hand. It's in your grasp. And the fact that you would show up and put the time in, yeah, it's about an hour and a half, right? But for those of you that were last night also, it's a commitment. And it shows that, you know what, you're worth it. And that time and that effort will have a multiplier effect. It really will. When you hack your own education, you're not learning somebody else's curriculum. You're taking ownership of the information so that you can be relevant and you can do the thing that you were called to do. So I just want to say that. I hope each and every one of you have a fantastic freaking day. The weekend's coming up, and as always, Friday is a big day. So if you want to come in and sit around and find out what other humans cool things they're doing, you're always welcome to come and have a cup of coffee about noon tomorrow. But then we also have Sharon, Alisher, and Kirk. You know, they're building some really fantastic stuff also on Friday night. So, you know, as you're doing your wind down, you know, the work week's over, popping into their space and just surrounding yourself with doers. You know, don't doom scroll, don't waste your time. Use your time so wisely in building you. All right. So I love you all to the moon and back. Thank you for arriving and being and presence, all of it. Go on to greatness, folks. I believe in you, and I couldn't be more proud. I know we say that each and every time. Each and every time, I mean it 150%. You know, you are doing fantastic stuff. And even if no one else believes in you, we do. That's why we're here. So, Cash Money Kev, take us away.
Awesome. Well done, Sarah. Alisher, I just wanted to double check. Did you have any last little closing notes? Any last little words of encouragement or any last little bits? I just wanted to not step on any toes.
Sorry, Alisher.
No, you're all good, Sarah. You're all good. I was just trying to remember correctly because I was like, man, I might need another cup of coffee, but I think Alisher might have got stepped over. But I'll give you the chance if you'd like, Alisher.
Yeah, I would just say if you're taking it seriously, make this like the real one, because you're probably going to use all the prompts and the personalities from this one in the next one, in the final version. Because the final version is a lot closer to this than the previous two. So if you're doing this for real, make it a real one and have about 8 to 12. 8 or 12, I would even say, just because they are all 4 in a row. So you want to keep it a multiple of 4. So it looks nice. But yeah, guys, you've been doing a great job. We've been seeing a lot of progress. We've been seeing your platforms and all the different AI personalities you've been creating. And the one next week is going to be the official one where it has like a full SaaS wrapper around it. So you guys will see how it works and what the main difference is between like an HTML and a full-on SaaS.
Awesome. Love it, Alisher.